Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, HubSpot for Sales Teams, Features and Tips that Make a Difference. First off, I just want to thank everyone for joining today. I'm super excited to dive into some powerful HubSpot features that will help your sales teams boost efficiency, simplify prospecting, and build stronger customer relationships. My name is Allie, and I've been working with HubSpot now. At Top Line Results, we specialize in multiple CRMs and digital marketing platforms, helping businesses streamline the processes and maximize the tools that they're using. My focus is mostly on data validation and automation through workflows, so I'm excited to show you some of HubSpot's new features and tips that you can start using today to start seeing more results. So here is what I will be covering today. First up will be Breeze Copilot, which is currently a beta feature in HubSpot, used to help unlock insights and automate content creation. And I'll review sales sequences to help you nurture leads and automate follow-ups. Next would be Prospecting Workspace, and this is a place to manage your day and stay focused on goals. Then we'll review some workflow tips and also a new workflow conversions reporting tool to help you automate and measure your processes. Then I'll cover some list building tips as well as a new list filtering history tool to help you streamline targeting and engagement. And then lastly, I'll show you where you can see new product releases so admins can help their team stay up to date with HubSpot's latest features. With that, we can dive right into HubSpot Sales Hub. So we'll bring that over here. Okay, so we're starting with something very exciting, Breeze Copilot, which again is in beta. This is a powerful AI chat assistant that helps you get things done in HubSpot by making you aware of the data that you're working with. So this new feature is available across all HubSpot hubs and tiers. As long as you're enrolled in the public beta, you will see this Copilot button to the top right of your navigation. So how does this work? You can actually ask it this question. So I'll just type in here, what can you do? Send that away to Copilot. And as my AI assistant, any inputs that I'm giving it, it's going to release an output to me saying that it can help with a variety of different tasks related to HubSpot, whether that's adding or updating objects, creating notes or tasks for me, looking up company information, etc. So aside from asking Copilot questions, it also has suggested prompts that you can use. So at the bottom here, we see all prompts. If I click on this all prompts, it will show me different ways that Copilot can help me generate, summarize, research, report, add things for me, HubSpot how-to, so how to use HubSpot and learning about HubSpot, and also how to prepare all the different data that I have in my system. So for example, if I'm a new salesperson following up with old leads that I've never worked with before, and I just want a quick summary of the context interactions that I should be aware of before proceeding with it, something that I might want to use is summarize. So you can actually summarize a contact. So I'll click summarize contact here. It's asking for the contact name. So let's say I need to follow up with Jennifer. You would just select that contact up here, click it, and then send it away to Copilot. Then what Copilot will do is summarize all the data that I have on Jennifer's contact record, giving me a quick summary, letting me know when she was created, who's the owner, her email, what company she's associated with, as well as some additional information like how she wants with in December, and also previous engagements or deals that you had on that record. You can also dig deeper into these engagements and see what those engagements were, as well as the deals, if there are any, for her contact record. You can dig down even further by summarizing that specific deal or that specific engagement that was taking place. Another example of how you could use Copilot is to generate some content for you. So let's say you want to draft an initial outreach email. What Copilot will do is give you an outline of the best input that you can give it so that it can produce an outreach email for you. So for example, you can put in a company, your target audience, what the problem is, the product or service that you have, and then your call to action. You can also include some details about your desired length for this email. After you put in all that information, send it away to Copilot, and then it will spit out an email that you can then work off of or use to send as your outreach emails. Another example is, let's say you have an upcoming meeting with a company, for example, a quarterly touch base. What you can do is come down here to prepare, go to prepare for a meeting with a company. Again, you can just tell it which company that is, select it from up here, send that away to Copilot. What this will do is give you a data summary about what's going on at the company. It will also recommend some talking points. So for example, it says, be prepared to discuss the leads that Jennifer mentioned and any updates on their recent engagement. So if you're not familiar with a company or it's been a while since your last touch base, you can have Copilot assist you so that you get an update of what you could be talking about during this meeting. And again, similar to that contact record, you can see all the engagements that were going on at that company, as well as all the deals that were going on at that company. Or let's say you're a sales manager and you want a report of all the deals that your team has been working on. You'd go to this reporting section and you can click here, generate a report. It's asking, what do you want the report based on? We want it based on deals, and I want it sorted by owners specifically for this year. If I put in all that information, what Copilot will do is find all the necessary properties that it needs to generate this report for me. So let's say you're kind of new to reports and you need some assistance, that's where Copilot can come in handy. So we see that it spit out how many deals each of my sales users has, as along within a report that I can edit in the report builder and expand on that. So it's a great starting base to get the information and understand the information that you have in your database. So overall, you can see that Breeze Copilot can help save your team time on gaining insights on prospects, generating marketing content, preparing for customer meetings, and just interacting with your CRM data. So next, I want to discuss sales sequences. And this is a must-have tool for any sales team looking to automate their lead and contact nurturing, their outreach, and follow-up reminders. So this is a tool that is available with HubSpot's Sales Professional and Enterprise tiers. So here's how it works. So under automation, you have sequences. You can click Create Sequence up here. And then HubSpot will give you the option to either build a sequence from scratch or start with a pre-made sequence to side here. So for example, if I want to re-engage some cold prospects, this is a sequence I could click into. Then up here in the right-hand corner, I can click Create Sequence. And then from here, you have a lot of different options. So if you don't like the copy of this email, if you click this ellipsis here, it will allow you to edit the email so you can adjust the content that's shown in this email. You can also replace the email if you have an existing template that you want to put in here, or you can clone the email. So for example, if you want to do some A/B testing and try out a variation of different subject lines or content, you can also do that. You can also move this email. So let's say you actually don't want this to be your first touch. Maybe you want it to be the second or third touch. Under actions here, you can move this down or up depending on its current location. You can also add delays in between your touches. So we can see after one business day, after that automated email, I'm getting a call task. If you don't want it to be after one business day, you can easily adjust that and save that. You can also add additional steps. So you can add additional steps in between the steps that you already have or at the end of the sequence. And this will give you the option to either add an automated email, a call task, a manual email task, a general task, Or if you have HubSpot LinkedIn integration with LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can create a task to manually send an email or a connection request. You can also easily remove steps. So we can see that we can remove this here. Otherwise, if you already have an existing step, it's under actions and you can easily delete that if it's an email that you don't want to be sending out or a task that you no longer need. From there, once you've created your sequence, you decide who gets enrolled. So this is either done manually or typically through a workflow automation that will bring contacts into this sequence based on a set property that they meet. And you can do this under automate. From there, once you're done deciding whether you're going to automate or manually enroll people into your sequence, you'd save. Then you decide who gets to see this sequence. So is this a private sequence for me? Is it one that everyone on my team can use? Or is it for just specific users or teams? Then you would click save. Here you'll see enrollments again, so you can either enroll contacts manually or create a workflow. For example, if you have a form and anyone who submits this form you want enrolled in a sequence, that's the type of workflows that you could create to automatically have them enrolled in your sequence. My favorite tab is this performance tab. So once you turn on the sequence and start enrolling those contacts, you'll be able to see all of the different metrics from this specific sequence along with your step performance as well. So this will break down how many emails are sent, the percent of meetings that you're booking off of these tasks, the opens, clicks, replies, etc. And you can also see your performance over time. So how many booked meetings have you gotten from this email sequence? So the result of using sequences is that you have more engaged prospects, more timely follow-ups, and ultimately higher conversion rates because you have a lot more information to see what's working and what isn't working. So next up, I want to touch on workspaces. So I'm going to go to workspaces and then prospecting. So this is a new feature designed to help sales reps streamline their daily activities and stay focused on their goals. So this specific feature is available for all users with a paid seat in either Sales Hub Professional or Enterprise. And while Sales Hub already provided prospecting tools, the experience was a bit fragmented. So this new workspace kind of ties everything together, making it easier to manage higher volumes of activities and engage with prospects in a more contextual way. So how does it work? So first, we're looking at the summary tab. And the summary tab is where reps can track all of their task progress. They can see the sales sequences that they have. They can see suggested activities to do, as well as new leads that they should be following up with. Also, to the left-hand side here, you see a schedule. So if you have your integrated calendar, you can see upcoming meetings along with available time that you have to then complete these tasks up here. So with this task, if you start your task queue, you'll see that HubSpot actually redesigned this task queue so that reps can view their outstanding tasks alongside a summary of the contact that they're working with. So as I'm clicking these different tasks, you can see that it's pulling up the tasks that I'm supposed to do, so sending an email along with the contact record to the side here. Same with this one, just a manual general task to follow up, so I can decide whether I want to create an email, call them, or create a reminder task for myself. Now, if I go back, we also have this leads management. So this new leads tab can help reps manage both inbound and outbound leads, making it easier to qualify and nurture prospects. So it makes it very easy to click into that, kind of see the progress that you have, and then your next activities that you have due. It also brings up that contact record to then send an email, call, or create a task. Next tab you have up here is schedule. So this is where reps can see their calendar whether it's their Google Calendar or Outlook calendar that they have integrated directly in this workspace, allowing them to research context before meetings. So for example, we can see earlier today, I had a meeting with Allie, and I can actually open up her record to kind of view and get an update before I have that meeting with her. You can also see all the activities and tasks that you have. And if you do have tasks, you can start those straight from this calendar and also view what you have going on for the week. Then you have this feeds tab up here. This shows all of your engagement history, allowing reps to quickly track any interactions with their prospects. So overall, this workspace really helps sales reps stay organized, have more qualified conversations, and schedule meetings more effectively by just having everything in one centralized place. Next, I want to review workflows. So these are available with HubSpot's professional and enterprise tiers. If you're not already using workflows to automate your sales processes, you're definitely missing out on a huge productivity boost. So what I'm going to do is click workflows here in the top right corner and click from template. By clicking this, you can discover many pre-built options to get ideas of how you could be automating your processes based on your plan or the objective that you have. So for example, we see that I'm currently on this available with your plan tab, and we can see all the different types of automations that are available with my current plan that I have. So this will help you start to realize different ways that you can start automating your processes and kind of give you different suggestions if you don't know where to start. Otherwise, you can look under objective here, and let's say, I really need to start converting leads and I want to automate this process. You can click on that and it'll give you some suggestions where you can preview those automations and see which ones make sense to start implementing, as well as if you want to follow up or any of the other objectives shown here. Otherwise, a simple way to use workflows is to automatically assign your leads or contacts based on any property so that the right person is always following up and just making sure no one is getting left behind. So I want to show this workflow that I built out. And this automation is doing exactly that. So we can see that this is being triggered from contacts who submit a specific form, so this get in touch form. Then we can see that the people who submit the form will then be rotated between 4 different users that I have in the system. And then they will get a task to reach out to the form submission, and it will be assigned to them based on the rotation. So a few tips to consider when you're creating a workflow is, number 1, you want to have a clear naming convention. So here we can see the name of this workflow. So what I like doing is starting off with, what object am I talking about? Clearly, this is a contact specific workflow, so I like starting out with contact. But if I was doing a deal specific workflow, I would start off with deal. So I like starting off with whatever object that the workflow is relevant to. And I like including what it's actually doing. So we can see that this is a contact rotation assignment for the get in touch form. This way, when you start creating a bunch of different workflows, or maybe you want to expand on this workflow and make it less simple and actually more advanced and start building out different things. And then instead of getting a manual task to do something, you can actually just send an email straight from this workflow. So once you start doing that, it's easier to find what you're looking for if you have a set in stone naming convention. The next thing you want to do is test your workflow before going live. So HubSpot in the top right corner here actually has this feature where you can test your workflow, and then you can choose the contact that you're testing. So for example, I usually test with my personal contact, and then I make sure that it goes through the workflow as expected before I would publish it live. And then for those of you who are on Enterprise, HubSpot now includes a workflow conversions reporting, and you can find this under View here. If I click View, it's under Metrics. So what this does is display the conversions and performance data directly on this workflow diagram. So we can see here, 2 people have submitted the form, and if I go to the very bottom, I can see 100% reach this end, which they should. That is what I expect for this workflow. So it just gives you a better understanding of how your workflows are working so that you can better optimize your automation strategies. And obviously, this is a simple workflow, but once you have more detailed and advanced workflows, this is where this feature can really come in handy to see what's working and what isn't. So by automating your key tasks with workflows, you can really save time, reduce errors, and ensure that your team always focus on what matters most, which is communication with your customers. Next up, I want to show list building. So I'll just go back here, go to lists. So this is a feature that's been available across all HubSpot hubs where you can build lists based on data that you have in your HubSpot system, whether that be contacts, companies, deals, etc. And then you can use filters to target specific demographics, behaviors, properties to really create highly personalized outreach. So some key tips to consider. Again, you want to have a clear naming convention that reflects the purpose of the list, because as you start having a bunch of lists, you want to make sure that it's easy to find. Another thing you can do for that is in the top right here, there's this folders tab. You can create folders for yourself and organize your list that way. So if you're creating a lot of specific lists that are just for you to use, you can create a folder for that. Or if you have marketing lists or specific sales lists or maybe trade show lists, that's where folders could be beneficial that you can start using. I do want to open up one of these lists to show you another feature. So I'm going to open up this list. So another thing that's very important to do is clearly define the criteria that you want for the list. So let's say I created this list. I know that Allie should be on this list, and I see that she's not on this list. One thing that you can do is test a contact. So up here, I'll click test contact, and then you have the search bar that pops up. From here, you can search for the contact in question. So I'll search here, and then this will tell you why she's not on this list. So I can see she does have the email I'm looking for, but she's not syncing to Dynamics and the county isn't known. So obviously I need to do some data cleanup for the reason why she's not on this list, but this tool is super helpful if you know somebody should be on a list and want a quick search to figure out why they're not on this list. Another thing you can do is with the new list filtering history, you can now compare current and past versions of your list. So under activities tab here, if you click on that, and then to the right side, there's this view version history. What this will do, we can see to the left side here that there's 2 different versions. My first one, there was 7 contacts. And then my previous version, there was 54 contacts. So let's say I really wanted this previous version, but somebody came in here and edited the filters that I had, and now my list shrunk down to 7. If you want to restore this previous list, you can do that. You can restore the filters, or you can clone as a new list so that you can have both lists that you're working off of. So this allows you more control over your data and just ensuring that if someone does work over your previous list, you can still restore that existing version. So last up, I wanted to just touch on new product releases. So that's under your tab here. Then you'd go to product updates. So with any technology, there are constant updates and it's important to stay up to date with them. That's why HubSpot has actually introduced this new scheduled for release tab here. So if I click on that, this kind of gives you a sneak peek on all upcoming releases. Now, this is available across all hubs, but specific for admins. So if you have admin access into HubSpot, you'll be able to see this view. What this will do is give you a calendar or table-like view where you can also click in to see what's going on. So we can see Friday, we have this combined lead scores. If I open that up and click into it, I get to see what is it, why does it matter, how does it work, and also who gets it. so that I, as an admin, can report back to my team and help them stay on top of product developments. You can also use the calendar and kind of look through so you can see what's happening the following week or the following week after that to stay up to date on new releases, as HubSpot is always constantly changing. So next, since we were on the topic of HubSpot, I do want to mention that our team of marketing strategists and developers here at Topline have created an integration tool called Symphony Sync. This tool allows you to transfer data between HubSpot and Dynamic CRM. And yes, that includes all of your custom fields and properties. So if you are using both systems or even looking to migrate your data from one or the other, our team can help set that up for you so that your teams can be working off the same data and have better advanced reporting. So if you do want to get started, you can go to portal.symphony/sync.com. Again, if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I'm happy to get those questions answered for you.